Alright, welcome back. We're looking at finishing up on our card class. Right now we need to be able to translate our card now into a readable string. That will just say the name of the class, at least for now. And so now we need to make the translation go back the other way. For example, the first thing you usually state is, it's like the ace of hearts. So you put the rank before the suit. So let's translate the rank first. Here we're going one way. We're taking the rank letter and turning it into a rank. But now we want to turn the rank here, these numbers, into a string. So we could call a method, say in the toString method, we could say, let's say we're going to say string, and we'll call this I guess return value, because it's our return value of our function here. And then there are more efficient ways to do this, but again, I'm trying to keep this simple. So I guess the best way is we would say return string equals, and then we would call translate, or we could say, this would be a better way to say it, rank to string. We're taking the rank and we're converting it to a string, and the rank is internal to the object so that we don't need to pass a parameter. Say it because the parameter is right here, and it's easily accessible because we're in the same class. And then I can see us doing this. We say, okay, so we know the rank, and now we want to add, well, let's do this all in one line. Let's say we can paste on the word of, right? And I put a space before and after the word of, the literal. So I say the ace of, we add of, and then we're going to translate the suit. So we'll say suit to string. Right? And that will paste together our here, instead of return string, is return value, right? Value. We say return value. So just to go over it, we see the the string class returns a string. So we create a return value that's of the type the return value, which is string, and then we set that return value to the rank converted to a string, the word of pasted to it, and then the suit converted to a string are all pasted together, and then we return that return value. Now we just need to write these two methods, and then I think we're done. Now here, since rank is kind of an internal number and we don't want people to see it from the outside, this might be a good time to use a private method. And so we'll make it private so that only other methods inside this class can call it. And this is called rank to string. And it doesn't have any parameters, so we can leave the parentheses empty. What does this need to do? Well, it needs to do kind of the inverse of this, right? So I'm going to grab this switch statement, and we're just going to turn it around. Just grabbing that. I'm going to place it in there. Now, our return value is a string, so that's a little bit different. We'll say string return value. Okay, so that's the return value from our method. And what are we switching on? Well, we're switching on actually our instance variable rank. And in this case, everything's going to be a number. So we're going from a number to a string that represents that. Our return value, in the case that there's a 1 there, we're going to say, here we'll say ace. Type it in. So ace. And then here, instead of the number 2, we're going to actually write out the word 2. And then I'll just go down and fill the rest in. I'll pause the video here. Alright, so we have all these filled in now, except for the last one. What do we do when we're returning a string? And we get, say, somehow a rank I put in there that doesn't match what we need. I think just make it really explicit. Just say invalid rank, and that will send that as the output string, and then the user will see, hey, there's something wrong here. Last thing here to do would be to return our return value. Remember, this method has to return a string return value, so we return that, and then everything is fine. See, now rank to string is now defined. We don't pass in anything, but we just say rank to string, and we'll take the rank that we have stored in our object and translate it into a string that we can read in English. Next one we have to make is this one, suit to string. This one's not as hard, but we use the same. Let's just copy this and we'll modify. So I'm just copying rank to string, and we'll do something similar for suit to string. So we'll change this to suit. Now this also returns a string, but in this case our rank is, or the variable we switch on is our suit. Remember, a suit is a character. So so what we're going to do here is put in the character, and we're assuming that it's uppercase, although should we make that assumption? It's a character. I suppose when we created when we made the constructor, we made sure to make it uppercase, so hopefully we can rely on that here. Since we have no accessors and mutators, it would be a good idea to, there's no way to change it after the constructor, so we can safely assume, hopefully, that it will still be uppercase. So given that, I'm going to make them all uppercase. And then here you would say clubs, let's say. And then this is, well, we change this to spades. I don't think order matters here, so, and then diamonds, I guess. So we'll put a D there, capital D. Last one is hearts. So we're going to say hearts. The rest of these we don't need because we only have 4, but we still need to have that default case in case somehow the data gets messed up. Say there's a letter in there that's not C, S, D, or H, so we're going to say invalid suit instead, just in case bad things happen. Alright, so now toString is happy because it has both of these methods created, and even our tester class is now happy because we have a completed toString method. So I guess we can try it out and see if it works. So we ask the user to put in a code. Here's our, so we'll put in the ace of hearts, let's say, and see if that works. See, it says Ace of Hearts. So let's try some other ones. We'll try some different boundary conditions just to see whether it'll work. Let's just try a number this time. The 3 of clubs. Say OK. Invalid rank of clubs. So 3 didn't work. Surprised by that. Let's try it one more time. Maybe I mistyped. 3 clubs. So this is why we put that default case in there, so that we can see, hey, maybe there's something wrong with my code. So now I can go in my code and kind of zero in on the 3. See how I forgot to take the quotes out of this on the ranks, and I didn't get any compiler error, so it's a logic error on my part, and that's why 3 didn't work. So that's why it's always good to give your code a test, certainly after you write it. And that makes sense. But I just made one slight mistake. Here's the letter T. Well, that doesn't work. This would be the number 10, right? So putting in those default cases is super important, especially if you're like me and you make logic errors every once in a while. Alright, so now we fixed those problems. I'm going to save that, run it again. I'm going to do our test case again, 3 of clubs, see if it comes back okay. Yeah, now it's working. Alright, now next one to try would be, let's try the 10. That's kind of weird. 10 of diamonds this time. Yeah, we get the 10 of diamonds. And try the jack of, which one haven't we done? We've done clubs, spades, maybe we haven't done yet. Jack of spades, that seemed to work. Let's try queen, queen of hearts. I'll try a lowercase letter to see if it's able to convert it. Looks like it can. And then finally our king. We'll try that out. So the king of spades, maybe. King of spades. Okay. Now you want to also test some invalid ones. Let's put the 13 of G, whatever G is. Invalid rank, invalid suit. How about a letter and then a number? Say we get it backwards, the diamonds of 5s. See what we get there. Both invalid. So you can come up with different test cases, but it looks all in all that we have a working card class now. You might question, well, why to go all this trouble? Why don't you just store the characters, and why did we convert the rank character into a number? And that's so later on when we create card games, you can see if one hand is better than the other. Say you're doing a card game and you want to see which hand is better. Translating these characters and trying to figure out which one's better is a lot harder using characters than it is using numbers. So the rank is actually helpful later on when we're going to say use this class to create card games. And for the suit, we're just trying to keep it simple. Simple letter represents the suit. So anyway, that's the card class. We wrote our tester before we started the card class. And once we completed the tester, we fleshed out our card class. And now we have a good start for the next step in, say, we're creating a card game. All right, thanks for listening.